Welcome to the Songs We Carry, where we talk to artists about the songs that shaped them. We talk about the influence that came from that and how it shows in their own songs. And we talk about the stories that live between the lines. Today we welcome Vlada Barlow. Welcome to the show, Vlada Barlow.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about how you ended up in Nashville?
Well, I work remotely for my day job, so I can kind of live wherever, which is a blessing. And I've visited Nashville a couple of times before, deciding to move here. And I just loved it. I mean, I've never been to a place in the entire world that had this collection of talented people, music, amazing food. And we really loved the walkability as well. So it's just like a growing city. It feels like a good combination of down to earth and urban.
Mm-hmm.
So I just fell in love with it. And
yeah.
It was a good place for our dogs.
And tell me about leading up to coming here. Where were you before that?
So I was born in Belarus, just to go way back, and moved here when I was 3 to the D.C. area. Grew up in Maryland, kind of lived all over the D.C. area, went to college, law school there. And then during COVID, my husband and I moved to Florida, and we lived in Florida for 3 years. That's where kind of I started playing for the first time in my life other types of music and really getting back into music after a long hiatus of not doing it anymore. And then ended up moving here.
Okay. And did you start playing music in Belarus?
No, so I was 3 when we came. But I started shortly after. So my mom is actually a professional concert pianist, and her grandmother was a very famous teacher, actually, in the conservatory in Belarus. And her mom was also a amazing pianist. So I come from this line of amazing classical pianists. So when we moved here, when I was little, my mom tried teaching me piano, and it was very clearly not my instrument. Just things were not clicking. She was very disappointed. And then we went to an orchestral concert, and I heard a violin solo, and I just thought it was the most beautiful thing. So asked my parents to play violin.
Okay.
And it kind of started there. So grew up playing in orchestras, playing in chamber music groups.
At what age? What age did you start playing music?
I would say 5.
Yeah? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But just focused on violin.
Violin, specifically.
Yeah, focused on violin.
And classical violin.
Classical violin,
okay.
Exactly. And I was very fortunate to have a friend, family friend, who had some connection to Switzerland, and her kids would go there to this music camp, and one summer I basically tagged along with them, and I ended up falling into this like amazing summer camp called Joliment, which is in this little town in Switzerland.
Wow.
And most of my friends when I was a kid were from all over Europe, France, Holland, Italy. And I met these amazing people, and we connected, even though we didn't speak the same language. We connected through chamber music.
Yeah.
Which was an incredible experience. And then I started getting into singing. So I took singing lessons as well, and was in musicals and things in high school. Ended up going to college, playing in the college orchestra and doing chamber music there. And then it wasn't until I got to law school, I had a friend, actually, my friend Tyler, he's getting married this weekend.
Oh, congratulations, Tyler.
Yes, congrats, Tyler.
And his betrothed wife to be.
Exactly. And he played the banjo.
Okay.
And he was the first person that really got me out of my comfort zone from classical music. He was like, "Do you play the fiddle?" I'm like, "What's a fiddle?"
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah. And so I started playing with him, and played some Old Crow Medicine Show. Just kind of
okay, and that kind of started leading into a little bit of the American country music.
That
was
the gateway drug.
That was the gateway drug. Okay, the Tyler gateway drug with the fiddle. Love
exactly.
it.
So kind of branched out, and then I guess that was the catalyst for starting to explore other types of music.
Yeah. Well, that leads us perfect into the first song that you sent to me.
Yes.
Which is Shania Twain, "Any Man of Mine."
Yes.
Which is our first influence song that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you hear the song, does it transport you back to that time?
Yes. I mean, Shania Twain was by far my biggest musical influence in childhood. And I would say, in some ways, she and her music were this little like entryway into American culture for me. Even though she's not American, she's actually Canadian.
Correct. Still
but,
though.
Country music.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, my parents, who grew up in the Soviet Union, they had a Shania Twain album at home, and we still have it. Actually, we still have this rack of CDs in the guest room that are like CDs that were there since when I was a kid.
Wow.
With like every single Shania Twain album. I think my dad just really loved her.
She was very beautiful.
A looker.
Yes, no doubt.
And so that was some of the first American music that I really listened to, and specifically country music. And I listened to every single one of her albums, knew every single one of the songs. The song that I sent you is called Any Man of Mine. And it's not necessarily my favorite Shania song, but I think in many ways it just represents, I feel the permission that Shania gives to women to be bold and to be cheeky. And I just loved that. Like, her music was the first time that I had permission to kind of be like, hey, like, I'm this a little sassy. I'm a little sassy.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like, women can be sassy. And so, if you watch the music video for this
several
song,
times. It's so good.
It's she's on a horse, she's in a truck, she's wearing blue jeans, she has, a cowgirl hat, and everything about it is just like screams American and country. And for me, that was an invitation to, go from being in this, Russian-speaking household to feeling like, okay, I can connect with the culture that I live in. And, so that was really special to me.
Yeah, it gave you kind of a link to here.
Exactly.
And even maybe to Nashville specifically, which is kind of wild.
I would say a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And what a fun song. There's so much musically going on in there, too. The intro is super fun with the, the boom, boom, clap thing going on. A very, like, simple but fun violin riff right in the front, right?
Fiddle.
Yep, fiddle, right, yes. And so I can imagine how, especially you as a young violin player, were kind of latched onto that, and you were like, okay, I can do both of these things. I can sing and I can play the violin on this song.
Absolutely.
So when was it when you started switching into guitar, into your own songwriting?
I took a couple of guitar lessons for a while during my childhood, but nothing seriously. Songwriting is actually very new for me. So I did not start songwriting until about 3 years ago. And at the time I was living in Florida, I was part of this band. I stumbled into basically this amazing community of musicians in Florida. And I sometimes sing jazz because I actually really love jazz, and jazz is one of my influences as well.
Yeah, you have
throughout
super
my life.
like smoky, sultry voice that makes perfect sense to me.
Well, I love Billie Holiday. I love Nat King Cole, Diana Krall, Madeleine Peyrou. Like, those were all actually huge influences of mine as well. And so when I lived in Florida, I met Steve Rapson, who is a very, very good kind of bossa nova jazz kind of a guitar player. And he's like, you should come join my band. And this band is like 70-year-old men and me.
Yeah.
Called the Hot Club of Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And the first song that I ever wrote was called Dreaming of You. And Dreaming of You came out of playing with that band and playing kind of in a jazz style.
Okay.
And then Dreaming of You just poured out, and that's where it all began. And that was about 3 years ago, and I haven't stopped songwriting since.
The song that you brought us, that is your own song that you've crafted. Tell us about that song a little bit. Is it that first song that you wrote?
It's not, because actually that song is jazzy,
Yeah.
and it was written on piano, which is interesting. But the first song that I'd like to share today is one that you're very familiar with, because you recorded it with me.
Oh, snap. Oh.
So you're going to have to sing some harmonies with me here.
Okay, I'll sing with you.
Okay, great. So it's called Lost in Translation.
Okay.
And I will say, Lost in Translation originally started as this idea of, actually inspired by Regina Spektor, who is another one of my favorite artists. And she has this song that has Russian included in the song. And so I was sort of inspired by that a little bit, and I thought, what a fun challenge it would be to write a song in Russian. So I thought about that a lot. And then I said, okay, this is going to be really inaccessible to people.
Yeah.
So I am not going to write a song in Russian. And I thought, okay, what are the languages that people know, or how can I stick words in so that people are like, wait, what is that? But they still understand it, or understand most of it. And then I ended up weaving together Spanish, French, Italian, and Russian with like little things, and talk about a songwriting challenge, like a really, really fun one.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's the first song that I'd like to share.
Very awesome.
If you want to sing on it.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
grab that guitar. Let's play it.
Okay.
Put me on the spot, girl.
You thought you got
it's
all
supposed
easy.
to be about you.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, you ready?
Lost in Translation.
Yes, Lost in Translation. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just minding my business when you walked on by. You had that style and that groove, babe, made my heart go wild. I've traveled all across the world, I've seen a lot of beautiful people, but something in your eyes made me lose my mind. I'll follow you to Spain, we'll make love in the rain. I'll have you singing dame, 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 dame mas. I'll follow you to Paris, where you can be my chérie. Amour est dans tes yeux, je vois que tu me veux tellement. You have me lost in translation. I was just minding my business when you flashed that smile. It hit me right where I'm weakest, got me all tongue-tied. I've traveled all across the world, I've heard a lot of beautiful words, but all I want to learn is how to speak your language. I'll follow you to Russia, we'll eat black caviar. Мы будем пить шампанское и танцевать всю ночь. I'll take you to Milano to practice Italiano. You're sweet like that gelato, ti voglio così tanto. You have me lost in translation. I say te quiero, amor. Я хочу забрать тебя с собой. Je ne jamais vu une femme as beautiful as you. You have me lost in translation. You have me lost in translation. Look at you doing the Russian.
You're really testing me.
That was not easy to learn, I'm sure.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the story behind that song and what you were thinking about whenever you were writing it.
Yeah. Well, I wanted it to be a journey, right? Like I wanted to take the listener all over the world, like Carmen Sandiego.
Okay, yeah, you're an international spy style.
James Bond and in a smoky Havana bar.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted it to be adventurous and sexy and just, you know, like a little bit of a daydream, really.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, and I've traveled a lot throughout my life. So, and I think, you know, elements of it are true. Like, I've traveled all around the world and I've met and seen a lot of beautiful people. But sometimes you just meet somebody and that person is absolutely captivating. And it's a little bit of a romantic song. So, yeah, I loved writing it. It actually came very quickly. Some songs don't come quickly for me, but this song came very quickly.
Yes. And I can see the tie-in between the Shania song because it is kind of your sort of boldly just asking for what you want.
It's cheeky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
It's bold and it's cheeky. You know, it's that confidence that Shania kind of instilled in my personality.
Yes.
This is so fun.
It is so fun.
This is the funnest thing I've done in like 2 weeks.
All right, so the next song we're going to talk about is Jeffrey Martin, There Is a Treasure, off of the album Thank God We Left the Garden, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Tell me about this song. Tell me about the headspace that this song kind of puts you in.
So Jeffrey Martin is kind of part of this category of artists that I would never listen to unless it was for Jason, my husband. When we first got married, he introduced me to a variety of songwriters that I think are now actually some of the most influential in the way that I write. I'd say it started with listening to Bob Dylan. There's an artist named Josh Ritter, who I think is one of my favorite songwriters of all time.
Yes.
Josh is amazing.
Yeah,
and
originally
then,
I think you were thinking about bringing me one of his songs.
Yes, I was struggling to make these picks because there's so many
tough to
good
choose three,
songs to choose from.
Yes.
But aside from that, there was also a band called Watch House. Well, they're now called Watch House. They used to be called Mandolin Orange. And these are all my husband's, The Bones of J.R. Jones is another one. And so Jeffrey Martin is somebody who I discovered through Jason. And after we moved to Nashville, Jeffrey was playing at the OG Basement. And so we went to go see him.
Awesome. What a tiny little intimate, amazing show. I bet that was...
Intimate show. Some of the best shows I've ever seen in my whole life have been at the OG Basement. I saw The Bones of J.R. Jones at the OG Basement. Another one of my favorite shows in like my memory. But anyway, went to the Jeffrey Martin show, and I was not super familiar with this album, but it's the album that he most recently released, so he played a lot of songs from it. And I had never heard There's a Treasure before. It was one of those experiences where I was standing about 6 to 7 feet away from him, and I could feel the vibration of his voice and of his guitar in my body. And this song is so just prolific.
Yeah.
And it's one of those songs that I really actually love, songs that zoom out of life a little bit, because we have this tendency to get so caught up in our problems, the things that we're super focused on day to day, that you just forget about this huge world around you and the universe. And I think Jeffrey Martin's music in general just does that to me. It plucks me right out of whatever I'm dealing with and just brings in the bigger picture.
Yes.
And this song in particular, I will never forget the feeling in my body when I heard it. It just was so emotional for me.
Yes.
And as soon as we got home from the concert, I'm like, I'm going to listen to this song on repeat. And Jason was like, turn it off. It's so depressing.
It's existential quandary type of song.
So depressing. Yeah. Do you mind if I sing?
Yes, I would love for you to
it?
play us a little bit. It's worth hearing some of the lyrics from it for sure, because this is a song that definitely is seeking deeper meaning, or maybe trying to just sort of find acceptance in our place in life and death,
Yes.
And how kind of the world will keep spinning when we're gone, and the world keeps spinning now while we're here. Kind of life's bigger mysteries. You know?
Exactly. And I think it just starts out by zooming out. Like the lyrics are, the city will still be moving in the morning. A million lives all breathing like a tide. Each one a story beyond our comprehending. Each trying to make a life and feel alive. Just the way that starts is it's so macro.
Like, look at us all really trying,
Exactly. We're all out there. We're all trying to do something. Little tiny specks on this earth. And there's another verse, and then there's a chorus. I'm gonna skip that for now. I'll get to the chorus eventually, but I think the third verse and the fourth verse are just so powerful. And there's a lyric in here about, I'll just sing it now. All the tools we use to feel important, they're useless as a sailboat in the sky. Like, I just love that line. Where old bones and heartaches are forgotten. Place we don't have words to describe. And the sun will rise like it always does on the day that I die. The world will spin, the sun will go on burning, never even knowing I was alive. It's just so touching.
Yeah. It's a gut punch for sure. Like, it's a tearjerker of a song, like, but I love songs that just kind of, and really I think this song isn't trying to answer a question. I think this song is sitting inside of a question. Do you
That's
know
a
what I
great
mean?
way of putting it.
Yeah. And that it's not necessarily even trying to seek the deeper meaning. It just is kind of, here all this is. Here's how it goes. Here's the reality. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's just being present. And it's being present even after death, right? Because it talks about the day he dies, and it says, the sun will still be out, like things will still be, the world is going to keep on going. And it's this consciousness beyond yourself, which is so inspirational to me as a songwriter. And I think a lot of my songs, even before hearing this particular song from Jeffrey Martin, they kind of almost are the zooming out of coming out of my own body and experiencing things, almost looking down.
Yeah. Yes.
So the next song that I brought that is my original song that I think is a little bit in the same vein is called The Inevitable.
Yeah.
And I wrote this song here in Tennessee. We were out in the mountains, and I was sitting on a porch outside watching storm clouds come in, and it was a vibe. It was a mood. That's kind of how this song started.
Okay.
And I want to say this song is probably the first song that I wrote where I felt that it was really mine. Let me play it for you.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds great.
The charcoal clouds, they loom above. He takes a breath and holds it in, 'cause it's about to start pouring. And once it starts, there will be no place to run. Just seconds till the truth comes out. And the truth is gonna come down hard. So he waits on the front porch for the inevitable. He worked hard for many long years, put nickels and dimes in a jar by his keys, but nothing's quite as good as it seems when you wait too long. Just seconds till the truth comes out, and the truth is gonna come down hard. So he waits on the front porch for the inevitable. And he says, let it come down. Let it come down. Let it come down. Let it fall. Let it come down. Let it come down. Let it come down. Let it fall. Let it come down. Let it come down. Let it come down. 'Cause I'm not afraid of a little rain.
Awesome, very cool.
Thank you.
I like your little arpeggios at the end. That's
The rain.
Yeah, yes, the little raindrops.
Coming
I like
down.
that. Yes, coming on down. Okay, tell me about like what is there like kind of a deeper meaning to this song?
So, interestingly, when we were in the mountains when I wrote the song, it was right around the time of the flooding in Asheville. And the company I work for was actually involved in helping people get connectivity back after the floods. But I think, seeing those rain clouds and thinking about, the homes that were destroyed and the way that it impacted, people's lives. I think, coming back to the concept of Jeffrey Martin, he actually has another song called Dogs in the Daylight, and it's another album.
Yeah, that's the album, right? Yeah.
That talks about courage.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had, a variety of mixed emotions kind of being there in that moment really connecting with nature and just thinking about how small and helpless we are in the scheme of nature. We can do all the right things. We can, save our pennies and put nickels and dimes in the jar and have hope for certain things and dreams. And ultimately, we are just subject to the elements around us.
Yeah.
And speaking of songs that are that feeling of macro, it's just that there's something bigger than ourselves. I think the actual chords and kind of the feeling of that chord progression just feels, to me, when I was writing it, it felt zoomed out kind of in the way that Jeffrey's songs were. So it was just bringing all of those emotions and that current setting into a song that I think was actually much deeper than the moment that I was in.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot of times when I'm writing that I write words, but then I reflect back later and I'm like, oh, I didn't know, but this thing was coming out of me and I didn't even realize it. And how kind of lyrics sort of change meaning through time. You know what I mean? So yeah, that fascinates me, and that's interesting. Do you have any recording of this song? Working on anything like that yet?
Not yet, but I would love to. I've only recorded. Well, I've recorded 3 songs, 2 of which I'm currently working on releasing. But what I'd like to do is I would really like to find just some amazing musicians in Nashville that do kind of harder rock type of music. And I think this song with the right instruments could be a real rock song.
Yeah, I can feel it it being pretty huge, with drums and stuff in there for sure.
Yeah. That's the feeling. I have a couple of those songs where some of my songs are extremely stripped down, and then this one is stripped down when played on an acoustic guitar. But with the right instrumentation, it could be really loud.
Yeah, yes.
And I think this song deserves that.
Yeah.
So hopefully coming soon.
I hope so too. Very awesome. Next song that we're going to talk about that you brought to me today is Norah Jones, Come Away With Me. Yes. Sort of a classic in my household as well growing up. My mom definitely had this record. So tell me about... Do you remember by chance the first time that you heard this record?
This
song?
is another oldie for me.
Yeah.
So Norah Jones is another one of the CDs on that CD shelf in the guest room.
Same. I definitely know the feeling. Yes.
I don't remember the exact moment that I heard this song, but just listening to the album that has Don't Know Why on it, Come Away With Me. I actually love all of Nora's albums. Love Norah. Yeah. And also just the softness of her voice, because I do have a softer voice. I don't have a very loud voice. So her songs always resonated with me, where I'm like, yes, people do sometimes love soft voices. And
right,
so,
you don't need to be Robert Plant,
exactly. You don't need to be Billy Joel.
Right, yes. You don't have to have this big, huge, room-filling voice to have a beautiful voice.
Yes, it's very airy. It's very airy. She actually does have a big voice. It's just very airy. And so... this song that I brought to you, Come Away With Me, I think for me there's this genre of songs that are just about escaping reality, going somewhere into the countryside, something that is super fantasy, romance, kind of just getting away from it all. And Come Away With Me is,
the perfect example of that.
The perfect example of that. Come away with me in the night. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yes. Where do you want to go?
Okay,
I'm there.
Where are you going? I'm with you. Okay.
Come away with me and I will write you a song. I'm like, you're going to write me a song? I'm there.
Yeah.
So, and thinking through it, I have a handful of songs. I have 3 or 4 songs that are all about just going away.
Even Lost in Translation, the one that you played earlier, is
That's right.
is about let's go on an adventure together. I'll
That's right.
I'll take you to
Exactly.
Paris. I'll take you to Russia. You know.
Yeah, but this is like I'm gonna take you to a little cabin in the woods.
It feels mistier in a way. You know.
In the dark. With some smoke.
Yeah.
And some magical fairies.
A lot of looking at each other.
There's that too.
You know what I mean? Yes.
So and sometimes you just get tired of things and it's an escape. And so my original song called Simple Little Life is a little bit in that same vein. It's just about dropping everything and living a simple little life where you just enjoy being in the country. I actually wrote this song. I was also in Tennessee on a little bit of a day adventure, just hiking over here in Coffee County, and driving by these little homes, and they looked like they hadn't been renovated since the 1960s with cute little curtains and nothing much around it. And I just thought to myself, gosh, it would be so relaxing to just leave it all and move out here. And so Simple Little Life is basically that fantasy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
why don't you go ahead and play
that one for you? And this is a more recent one for me.
Okay. When did you tell me about writing this song a little bit before you play it for us? Tell us a little bit about where you were when you were writing it and what kind of headspace you were in.
Yeah, so the first kind of lyric in this song that came to me was about watching the grass grow. Like, I think sometimes I feel so overwhelmed with the amount of thoughts that are processing in my head every day that
very busy job.
The first sentiment of the song was, all I want to think about is like how the grass is growing. And that's the only thing that I want to worry about. And that was the first little seed. Okay. Little grass seed, you might say. That started this song. Okay. So, and you'll hear that in here.
Okay,
so.
Very good.
I just want a simple little life in a little town, no traffic lights, just east of the sunrise. A town parade for one, the best part's when it's done. A front porch and a drive to greet absolutely no one. I just want a simple little life, a window and a nook where I can write, a parlor and a guitar to play whatever I want, deep into the belly of the night. The only thing I want to think about is how the grass is growing outside my house. A letter in the post to the one I love the most. It'll be a little longer till the heart grows fonder. I just want a simple little life, made of morning sipping tea, with my dogs for company, answering to nobody but little old me. Oh, how I want that simple little life, picking wild flowers and raspberries, sunshine pouring through the trees, a bubble bath with swirling steam. These are life's true luxuries. I just want a simple little life, no worries when I rest my head at night, a star to make a wish on, a fire warm and bright. Oh, how I want that simple little life, a star to make a wish on, a fire warm and bright. Oh, how I want that simple little life.
Very awesome. Very good.
So it just puts me in a good mood.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, absolutely, yes. All those little things, picking raspberries and wildflowers and just thinking about the grass,
Like
all
Mary
those
Poppins.
things make, yes, it is, it is, exactly. Thank you so much for joining us, Vlada Barlow, this week on The Songs We Carry. For more songwriters and their stories, you can subscribe, and we'll see you next week here on The Songs We Carry. Thank you so much, Vlada.
Thank you, Ansley. This was so fun. What a pleasure.